now what we're doing is trying to take their leaders and their fighters off the battlefield in Iraq and in Syria. That's really where they flourished.
Are we killing enough of them?
We're killing a lot of them, and we're going to keep killing more of them. So are the Egyptians, so are the Jordanians. They're in this fight with us. But we cannot win this war by killing them. We cannot kill our way out of this war. We need, in the longer term, medium and longer term, to go after the root causes that leads people to join these groups, whether it's lack of opportunity for jobs.
All right, I have to hold Bill Donohue down because I'm telling you, folks, this is the most asinine thing I have seen in a long time. I know I say that every day, but this does go to the top of the list. The president of the Catholic League and Newsmax contributor Bill Donohue is here.
All right.
All right. So she wants to find these ISIS people and would-be ISIS people jobs.
Yeah, we have one at the Catholic League. Maybe I'll give these boys a call and see if they come on over. I mean, you know, it's amazing. Imagine saying this about the Nazis. The way to get them to stop killing the Jews is we give these guys a job. I mean, you know, they always think about the root cause of this stuff as if the jobs and the money matter. You know, people like Karl Marx, for example, he always talked about the plight of the working class. Never once did he ever set foot in a factory. He didn't care about the working class at all. And the same is true of so many different people. Fidel Castro, all the others, these guys, ISIS, they don't come from the lowest ranks. If you're that poor, you stay down there with the destitute. It's the middle class people. Castro was a lawyer. Marx was a journalist. These are the people who say they have empathy for these people. But look, she's totally missed them. The only way you can win a war is to defeat the enemy. And in this particular case, diplomacy is not going to work.
It's insane. It's scary that she's speaking for our government. She's not just speaking as some kid out of college. She's speaking for the policy.
I thought this is Saturday Night Live. I mean, in all honesty.
And she's telling ISIS,
yeah,
we can't win by killing you.
No.
We got to find your job. I mean, what? That's where we're in a war with them.
Yeah, and a meaningful job. The left always wants meaningful jobs.
All right. The condemnation of the horrific beheadings of the Christians, which the Pope, by the way, today called them martyrs, and they are martyrs. The White House description of the victims in the condemnation. I mean, it's insane again.
Well, one thing I did today, I told the staff, let's put this thing together. Let's see what the president said about it. Just didn't identify demographically either the religion of the victimizers or the victims. The Pope identified the religion of the victims, and ISIS identified the religion of the victimizers and the victims. Why the reticence? Why is the president so reluctant to identify that these people came out themselves and said, we are Muslims and we want to kill Christians, as well as Jews? We know that's next.
Right.
They've done a good job on that already.
Right. Well, the White House called it a heinous act and a wanton killing of innocents.
Look, if I go to a doctor and have a problem, I want him to diagnose correctly what my malady is so that he can do something about it. If we're at war with these people, if we don't know the nature of what's driving it, it's not a lack of jobs, okay? It's an appetite to kill.
But why won't this White House? I mean, when Jews were killed in the synagogue, he shrugged. When Christians are beheaded in Libya, he shrugs. What? Why? Because he doesn't want to offend Muslims, but he doesn't mind offending Christians. But you know what? He's selective in his demographic profile. We looked at this thing today. I said to the staff, let's find out what he said about blacks, young black men, their concerns with law enforcement. Right.
And he says, you know, driving while black and walking while black. Can you imagine if you said you're walking while male and driving while male? Nobody would make any sense. You identified the race because there is a problem here that we have to deal with. Right. So if he's so quick to identify demographically the characteristics of people in terms of the cops and blacks, why is it when it comes to Muslims here that he can't use the word Islam? It is an important popular strain. I'm not saying it's the only one or the most authentic, but it's a popular strain of Islam which is behind the killing of these Christians. And for him not to admit it is morally bankrupt.
Well, you know, we've had people on this show who ask, you know, what side is he on? Who say he's an Islamic sympathizer, not a terrorist sympathizer, but an Islamic sympathizer. I mean, it's beyond comprehension that these groups, which are all motivated by Muslim extremism and Muslim fundamentalism, could kill Jews and Christians. This man says he's a devout Christian, and it doesn't bother him.
No, but see, he doesn't mind being insensitive to Christians, does he? Because I look at this and I say, wait a minute, the Pope is okay speaking about this, and he's not a in-your-face type of guy, but he's going to identify correctly. Every American I know identifies correctly, and yet he's having conferences on violent extremism.
Right, all right. We got the 3 Muslim students tragically, horrifically gunned down in North Carolina. The president came out and said nobody in this country should be targeted because of how they worship, how they look, blah, blah, blah. Implication?
Right.
Bias crime. There's no proof of a bias crime yet. He did it with the cops in Boston,
Right,
Massachusetts.
right.
He did it with Trayvon Martin. If I had
Right.
a son, he'd look like Trayvon.
Exactly.
But when it comes to this, it's generic.
Well, when we talk about the Klan, aren't we talking about white racist? I mean, and aren't most of the victims blacks as well as Jews and Catholics? I understand that in the past. But I mean, the thing is, you have to talk about the religion, you have to talk about the ethnicity, you have to talk about the race when it matters.
You know, we talked about his use of the Crusades and trashing Christianity. ISIS did it in the video with the burning Jordanian pilot. Then Obama did it, and now ISIS did it again in the Egyptian, the beheading video.
And what did they say? Our goal is to conquer Rome.
Right. Now
they want to take over the
Rome.
Vatican.
How serious? What could the how
well, we had a
is the
situation
Vatican?
like this in the Philippines not too long ago. Okay, there was an attempt to kill the Pope.
Right.
Everybody played it down, including the boys at the Vatican didn't want to make any noise about that. But there's no question about it. We know this because the guy testified about it, and this guy was there trying to do this.
Should Italy be proactive here?
Listen, I mean, everybody knows that most Muslims are good people, but there's a problem within the Muslim community. This is lights out, folks. Everybody knows about it.
Is the Vatican under serious threat?
I think the Vatican is under serious threat. I think any world leaders, I would think that the major rabbis in Jerusalem would also be under severe threat.
Bill Donohue, thank you very much, sir. All right, folks, we're coming back with first this hour's American Moment. Don't go away.